Netanyahu said that this war was also the U.S.'s war, which it is, because the U.S. is providing the money and the bombs and the diplomatic cover that's allowing it to continue. But he's saying that it was also the U.S.'s war because it was a battle between civilization and barbarism.
And it's not only our war, it's your war too. It's the battle of civilization against barbarism.
This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
And we are not fighting just our war, we're fighting the war of all civilized countries and all civilized peoples.
This is a battle for the future of civilization. Because this kind of barbarism that many believed was a relic of the past has come full force in the 21st century.
He was echoing something that the founder of the Zionist movement, Theodor Herzl, said: "We shall be a sector of the wall of Europe against Asia. We shall serve as an outpost of civilization against barbarism." And when he said that, he was echoing the mentality of a lot of Europeans when they came to the Americas, which was that they were, quote unquote, bringing civilization with them, and therefore they had the moral high ground because the native indigenous population were uncivilized, they were primitive, they were savages, and therefore they could do whatever they wanted to them, and they didn't have to think about it from a moral and ethical perspective. And I think the irony is that they were the ones who were barbaric in their treatment of Native Americans, and they were the ones who were uncivilized. To me, like, being civilized is treating other people with respect and dignity.
We've proven that we were civilized 7,000 years ago. Are we so underdeveloped? That's not civilization. Civilization is how do you contact the other people? Do you know how to love? Do you know how to care? This is civilization. If you go to a very poor man here and he has nothing to give you, he'll go and borrow from his neighbors a loaf of bread and he'll offer it to you. In Europe, you may faint and drop dead in the street and people will just walk away from you.
And I think a lot of Israelis kind of cling to this idea that they're more civilized and that they, quote unquote, brought civilization with them and they made the desert bloom.
Before the Jews came to here in the late 1800s, early 1900s, it was like a barren land. Like, because the Jews came here, it started to flourish or whatever and become actually, like, people started planting things and making settlements in all these places. If the Jews never came here, then it'd be in the same place it was like 200 years ago, or not where it is today.
We as a Jewish people bring flourishing to a place while the Palestinians just bring shit culture and destruction. It's like no one talks about the fact everything is about comparing us, right? And saying, oh, well, what would we do in this situation? What would they do in this situation? And trying to, it's like, no, we're better. We're just better. We're better. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. We're better. We have a better culture. We're a better society. And yes, it would be a great thing if we took over all the West Bank and they weren't there.
If you mean whose side should one be on, Israel or the Arabs, I would certainly say Israel because it's the advanced, technological, civilized country amidst a group of almost totally primitive savages who have not changed for years and who are racist and who resent Israel because it's bringing industry and intelligence and modern technology into their stagnation.
When in reality, the Palestinians were cultivating crops before they got there. And they weren't primitive, actually. You know, they had colleges, they had arts, they had cinemas, they had bustling ports and bustling marketplaces. And they're definitely not primitive now. They're very literate. Many of them go on to become professors and doctors and engineers. And I think that's a threat to a lot of Israelis' sense of superiority, which is why I think they've really been targeting hospitals and universities and cultural centers.
לכל מי ששאל למה אין לימודים בעזה, אופס, נפל לנו טיל עליכם, איזה באסה, חבל. ככה לא תהיו מהנדסים יותר.
As you can also see, the whole department, all the Shifa hospital is completely destructed. Anybody that has wounds, anybody that is sick, anybody that needs any medications, they're not allowed to come to the hospital. As you can see, there is no treatment at all.
I want to speak on behalf of all the medical students in Gaza, Islamic and Al-Azhar University. Literally, we have no future. They have completely destroyed it. This is Al-Shifa hospital. It was one of the biggest hospitals in Palestine. Here we did our internships and our theoretical classes. They have destroyed our dreams and our source of knowledge.
They need to establish themselves as being superior to the Palestinians. Otherwise, what they're doing to the Palestinians creates too much cognitive dissonance. But even if the Palestinians didn't have these trappings of quote-unquote civilization, it still wouldn't have been right to steal their land from them, to dominate them, to oppress them, just as it wasn't right what the Europeans did to the Native Americans. Just because they were living closer to nature didn't make them innately inferior to the Europeans. And I think we're starting to recognize that we can actually learn a lot from native indigenous cultures that live close to the land and live in harmony with nature, because we need nature. Nature is healing. We come from nature, and if we want to survive on this planet, we need to harmonize with nature.